The Sigma is a red-blooded male, and just like the majority of men, he is attracted to a woman with smoking hot looks. But unlike other men, this isn't enough to really catch his interest, and women feel exactly the same. Women are really picky when it comes to romance. They know what they're looking for in a man, and it's not just that he looks like Brad Pitt or Chris Hemsworth. There are many components that create the type of man worthy of being chased, and the Sigma happens to embody pretty much all of these. The obvious and the not so obvious. In today's video, we're going to tell you 10 of the weirdest ways that Sigmas can make any woman chase him. Starting off at number 10. He doesn't try to make her chase him. You want to know the core reason the Sigma is able to make any woman chase him? He doesn't chase her, and in fact is usually unavailable. The truth is, the majority of women are more interested in a man who is too busy being successful with the other parts of his life to have time to chase. The Sigma is too preoccupied with working on himself professionally and personally to lean into the whole chasing game. Besides, it comes across as desperate, clingy, and even disrespectful. And the Sigma is nothing if not a gentleman, so has no desire to pursue. Women are drawn in by his aloof and mysterious attitude, and of course by the way that he doesn't make them feel like a hunted piece of meat. Number 9. He owns his oddness. A great appeal of the Sigma, which sets him apart from many other males, is that he's not afraid of his own oddness and embraces his individuality. He might be conventionally attractive or have a more individualistic look, but Sigma men are sexy because they embrace their individuality, odd features, eccentricities, and get excited about their quirky hobbies without shame. Society might consider some of these as imperfections, but being odd and unique is what makes us human. And since when did the Sigma care about what society thinks anyway? The Sigma knows who he is, what makes up his identity, and allows his soul to express itself little by little, which makes others want to be a part of it. The obvious uniqueness is magnetic to women because the Sigma stands out from the crowd that he clearly wants no part in. And there is something incredibly attractive about a man who is confident enough to own everything about himself, warts and all. Number 8. He makes fun of himself. Part of owning his individuality as a Sigma is having the ability to laugh and poke fun at himself. Yes, it helps if a guy can make a woman laugh, but the Sigma's self-deprecating humor goes a long way in getting women to chase him. Heartthrob Hugh Grant is evidence that this works. Some researchers conclude that this exposes a man's flaws and spins them in a positive way, making for a more desirable man overall. Remember how he owns his imperfections? That's correlation. Women see a man differently when he shows a good sense of humor about himself, and as a result, she will feel more comfortable, laugh more, and feel less pressure to behave or look a certain way to appease him. The Sigma's talent for making any woman feel like they can be themselves around him is what makes him such a great catch. Number 7. He asks her for help. This is a very unknown tip that the Sigma isn't afraid to use, but it could be considered a little bit manipulative, but not in an evil or deceptive way. You may have heard of the hero instinct. That when a woman is subtly pursuing a man, she might trigger this instinct by asking for help or assistance with certain things to make him feel like a hero, in turn increasing his attraction for her. But this also works the other way around. The Sigma is comfortable enough with his sexuality to ask women for innocent favors or to help with something. According to the Benjamin Franklin effect, when he asks a woman to do something for him, she'll do it and subconsciously start to like him a bit more. When we do stuff for people, our brain thinks that if we are willing to do something for them, then we must like them quite a lot. Number 6. He doesn't stop doing his own thing. The independent Sigma doesn't feel the need to change himself in order to get women to chase him, but ironically, this is the exact effect that occurs. Men who change themselves or show they are willing to forego the things they love just to impress a female reek of desperation, and there's nothing that turns a woman off faster than desperate men. But what turns them on, making them more likely to chase, is a confident man who is totally comfortable in himself, like the Sigma. He knows what he's about, what he likes, and isn't willing to compromise on what makes him unique. Plus, if you're willing to sacrifice parts of yourself in order to attract a woman, then you're not entering into something authentic, and it's bound to blow up in your face sooner or later. Number 5. He allows himself to be vulnerable. This is another trait that sets the Sigma apart from his competitors. Showing vulnerability is quite a difficult thing for many guys to do. Society teaches them to pride themselves on the traditional idea of masculinity. But the truth is that all men have feelings just like women do. When the Sigma feels like he can trust a woman, he will show her that he's comfortable being open with her by showing his vulnerable side, which increases her trust in him and subconsciously makes her want to get even closer to him. This isn't something that a Sigma will do when he's getting to know a woman, and it's never recommended behavior right out of the gate. But he will show his vulnerability when the time is right. The Sigma is fearless, and there is immense fearlessness in being vulnerable. Number 4. He exudes mystery. Being mysterious is a key trait of the Sigmas that gives him such allure to the opposite sex. Humans are naturally curious creatures, and mysterious people are attractive to most of us because we can't help to want to know more about them. As someone who is extremely difficult to read, women are intrigued by the Sigma because he allows their imaginations to fill the gaps about him. This compels them to try and get closer to him, to see if their assumptions prove to be correct. The Sigma is mysterious for many reasons. He's a good listener who asks carefully chosen questions. He's well-read and doesn't reveal too much about himself. Just a little bit here and there. He isn't available all the time, and just all-round comes across as different from other men. He's fully in control of himself, and women love that. Number 3. He listens to her. Sigmas are by nature great listeners, which is important when it comes to attracting women. It's commonly believed that women talk more than men, and this is true. One study found that women speak around 20,000 words a day, and men just 7,000, meaning that the average woman talks almost 3 times as much as a man does. The Sigma listens more than he speaks anyway, which means he doesn't end up in a competitive situation with a woman who is hardwired to verbally emote and share her thoughts and feelings. She wants him to listen, and listen he does. But this works twofold. Not only does he focus on listening, but when he does speak, the Sigma makes sure that what he has to say is valuable. What he says has a purpose. He doesn't need to be a philosopher, but he ensures he chooses his words carefully, and by doing so, women are even more drawn to him. Number 2. He is well-read and educated. Women love a man who is educated, well-read, compassionate, and intelligent. The Sigma ticks all of these boxes. He knows what's going on around the globe, which shows he's a part of it. He cares enough to learn and understand other cultures and ways of life, and being so connected to the world around him shows that he understands he's part of something much bigger than himself. It's obvious he doesn't think the world revolves around him, which is a critical aspect of being a compassionate gentleman. It takes a lot of motivation, hard work, and a good amount of time to become an educated and informed man like the Sigma male. This is such an attractive trait that women can't help but be mesmerized by the Sigma and feel compelled to chase him even more. Now, before we get to our number 1 weird way the Sigma gets women to chase him, if you're enjoying our content, please consider helping the channel to grow by liking and sharing the video. It takes just a few seconds, but it's a huge help to us, and it allows us to keep making more content like this. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it. And now, on to number 1. He's not fashionable, but he is stylish. You might think that not being fashionable could be a turn-off to women, but actually it's the opposite. The Sigma male doesn't follow trends. He doesn't care about the latest fashions or what everyone else is doing and wearing. But just because he's not fashionable doesn't mean that he doesn't have plenty of unique style. This avoidance of following the crowd makes him stand out from it, and consequently earns a lot of respect from women. Any man who is brave enough to take a stand against the rest of society and what it expects of him is pretty damn sexy, and this just adds to the plethora of reasons for women to chase the Sigma. So what do you guys think? Are there more weird ways that the Sigma gets women to chase him? Let us know in the comment section down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on our future videos. That's all for now, and I'll see you next time.